hello, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to another segment of the Black Girl Encourage Her. I am your host, Shaniqua Inspires. And let me tell you, you already know the deal. I got another sister friend to introduce to all of you. So we're not even going to start trying to fudge around. We're just going to bring her on to the stage. Come on up here, Dr. Sheree. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hello there. Hello.
This is my doctor sister friend. For those of you who do not know, this is my doctor sister friend. So, Dr. Sheree, now I know a little bit about you from when we met at our graduation, right? We were both honored and recipients of being now knighted. I say like we were knighted, honorary doctorates, right? We've got our honorary PhDs. So we met back then, but I need to know a little bit more about yourself, and I want you to introduce yourself to the audience.
Wonderful. First of all, first and foremost, I just personally want to say thank you. Like, as I mentioned some time ago and recently, I have been looking forward to this time with you. I think you are doing an amazing thing. God is doing an amazing work in you. So thank you for this opportunity. But yeah, like I always tell people, I bring you greetings from Houston, Texas. Houston, Texas, born and raised. I am Dr. Shree Cooper-Franks. I am a transformational coach. I always say, best-selling author. I'm an avid social change advocate and a philanthropist. I just believe in my people, believe in uplifting people. And I'm the owner of several businesses. I believe in helping. I've been in the actual healthcare industry now for 22 years. So I work with a lot of cancer patients and I work with a lot of physicians globally. So I have been charged with changing lives. And it sounds cliche, but it's one person at a time. So that is just a little bit about me. I just can't wait to dive into the conversation and hopefully, and I know that it's going to bless someone's life by viewing this talk. So thank you again.
Awesome. Well, I am honored to have you. I too am in healthcare for many years, for over 20 years. And now I've got to, before we really get into what I, wanted you to come and to share, we got to talk about this multiple business thing. Right? Because I need people to understand. See, I'm not the only one, you guys, right? I'm not the only one. So I wear so many hats and I say to the people, I'm like, yeah, I got multiple businesses. And you kind of get that side look like, why do you need multiple businesses? So give us a brief synopsis of why you have these multiple businesses.
Well, the good thing about it is, I believe that you can do multiple things, right? So I think about those that are successful in their field, such as the Tyler Perrys and the Steve Harveys. There is just not one thing that you are good at, right? So I look at the trend of healthcare and such and how long I've been in that industry. And I figured that there's also many needs as well, right? So my husband and I actually founded, well, we first started our investment company in 2019 and then we birthed substantial other businesses that would align with that, such as personal care homes, assisted living homes. Nice. And I actually, going backwards, I launched a nonprofit organization in 2015 in honor of my grandmother who died from cancer. So it's all essentially linked. But I just don't believe that there's just one thing one person is good at. So you find those veins and threads that that can link and are associated versus trying to do things that are outside your norm or outside your comfort zone. Perfect what you're doing and just, continue to allow those to grow. But one of my favorite sayings is what you see, you can be. And I gave you the examples of, I know those were male figures, but I gave you examples of, successful business or philanthropists that are out there. And I just, I look at them and I say, if they can do it, so can I. Even though it may take me a little longer, but I believe I can do it. So I believe that that's why the multiple businesses, and then again, I'm establishing generational wealth, right? That's
Mhm.
also a common theme that has been floated around, but I actually believe it. So again, what you see, you can be, and that's my motto, that's my mantra, and I stand on it.
I love it. And you use the example of Tyler Perry and Steve Harvey. And if you think about it, like we knew Steve Harvey, for example, we knew him as a comedian,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so Steve Harvey went from, being just a comedian to now he's like a life coach. He's,
Yes.
he's on the radio, he's got the shows, the TV shows, the game shows. Tyler Perry has his hands in multiple things. One of my favorites, Kevin Hart, now has a vegan restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Mm-hmm.
only does he have a vegan restaurant, he has like a protein shake product line. So it's like, who says that we have to step into one box and stay in that one box forever and ever? Amen. And I love how you said that you literally just use what was around you. So your years of experience in healthcare, you use that to grow like almost like a branch from a
Mm-hmm.
tree. You sprouted out and you started to do your own thing from your experiences of dealing with cancer patients.
Mm-hmm.
You ended up doing a nonprofit organization in honor of your grandmother. Like, so it is about using what's inside of us. And I loved how that circled us back to really where it is that I wanted to have a conversation with you on today about purpose.
Yes, yes, yes. I am so excited about that concept. I was telling my daughters and even some friends, probably a few weeks and maybe a month ago, I have journals that I had written at least 15 years ago. So, you know how people say, oh, this is the new. Well, it's not new for me because I've been preaching and speaking and talking and journaling and manifesting the things that I wanted to have. So I tell people all the time that God has uniquely designed us for a purpose.
Yes.
Now it's for us to tap into our purpose and to, really seek those things that are internally about ourselves that's going to activate that. People say, well, what if I don't know my purpose? My thing is, what do you like to do?
Mm-hmm.
Those traits that are inside of you, or those hobbies. What is it about, what is it about yourself? I recently spoke actually at my book launch, and I was talking to people and I said, we're really good at speaking about the negatives. Like if somebody said, give me 3 positives and give me 3 negatives, almost always the default is going to be to the negative.
Yeah.
So now I want to change the narrative, right?
Yeah.
I want to change that concept, and let's talk about and let's focus on the positives, i.e., those traits inside of us, which is going to activate our purpose and our passion. So to me, it is it's very personal because we don't love on ourselves enough. We don't speak well of ourselves enough. We were speaking earlier and I said, people always say, give grace to others. No, give yourself grace,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like peel it all the way back because you have to search and look inside and find the things that are going to ignite the passion in you. Because what did I say earlier? What you see, you can be. So when others see that light that is in you, they may say, oh, well, what is it about her? I want to connect with her. I want to be a part of what she's doing. Tell me how to activate that purpose in me, Shree. And my point is going to be simple. Who are you? What is it about yourself that you like? And if you don't know the answer, that's the starting point.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Now, let's answer this question. Can a person have more than one purpose in life?
So I look at yes, to answer that in short, right? I believe just as I mentioned as it relates to my businesses and how all of the foundation or the root of that was connected to my grandmother and her cancer, or not even just her, just wanting and having that desire to help, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I believe yes, you absolutely can have more than one purpose, and I equate that to what? Your goals. That's what the purpose is. Going back to, looking within yourself. What is it that you like to do? Write those things down because guess what? they're all tied to each other. We can use whatever word we want to, but essentially your mission, i.e. your vision, i.e. your goals, is going to ignite that passion and that purpose in you. So absolutely. But I also want to say, I believe it's very important. We are in the age, and we're in the same, like I said, the same vein, to where people say, oh, I'm a multitasker. Well, I'm now wanting to change the narrative to that also, because yes, you can have multiple likes, multiple visions, multiple goals and passions, but it's not until you focus and hone in on that to where you can use that to leverage to the next. And I think that's so important, because this whole multitasking, oh, I'm good at that. No, something is failing. Right? Let's be honest.
Because if you're in the kitchen and you're trying to fry the chicken, you're trying to bake the bread, you're trying to make the vegetables, something just might burn.
Something is going to get missed. But yeah, you can definitely have several hobbies, several visions, and different passions. But you want to make sure that you refine one of them so that you can use that as your springboard to the next.
Yes, and you actually mentioned that with being in healthcare. Right. So a lot of times people think because they're working on a 9-to-5 job or something similar to that, they feel as though that's not purpose. And working a 9-to-5 job, having, your investment, because that's your first investor right here. That in place is not a bad thing, but that can be your springboard.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. I tell people all the time, I can't remember the author, but one of the many books that I read 20 years or so ago is Do What You Love and the Money Will Follow. So you have to search within yourself and figure out what is it that I can do now, because at some point in time in your life, it will change, right? It may not be a drastic change, but there definitely should be a shift. So your 18-year-old self and your 30-year-old self, they may still be in healthcare, but ideally you want to continuously grow, right? So if you're starting out as a CNA, ideally something you should see something to say, you know what, I may want to try to be a nurse or LVN or LPN. Okay, you're LPN, LVN. Now I want to be an RN. Okay. Oh, you mean I can be a nurse practitioner? Have my own practice? You see what I'm saying? So yes, springboard to the next. But we all have several hobbies, so.
It's true, but it is a good idea to, and that's what I always tell people when they feel like they're stuck, they don't know what their purpose is. And you've mentioned it. It's about like, well, let's look at what you do. Like, so what is it that you currently do throughout the day that gives you a sense of joy, gives you a sense of peace, or brings in a substantial amount of money? If we want to look at money, money is not a bad thing, right? So, money, come here. I need you to come here and be a good thing to me.
Yes.
But what is it that brings you joy?
Yes.
So maybe you love to cook. Like, so in spite of having to get up and go to work, one of your great joys throughout the day is coming home and preparing a good meal. And maybe everybody that tastes your food is like, girl, this right, I'd pay for this.
Yes.
So these are the things, these are the cues that are being left, but we just might be putting it aside because of busyness, because of other obligations. But those are the things that could be what your purpose is driven.
Yes, I think that's a perfect example. And just to kind of just to elaborate a little bit more on the example that you gave, oftentimes people will say, oh, that's a lot for me. I can't do that. I don't think I can run remember I just said they're going to talk about their negatives more than their positives. But again, you have to peel it back and just say, well, yeah, no, you may not be able to run a restaurant, but you do, like, to your point, the satisfaction of hearing, or the gratification of hearing others say, oh, you did well. And so guess what? Instead of running a restaurant, How about volunteering at the church or the local community by bringing a dish or being, one on a committee to where you don't have the full responsibility?
Mm.
Because sometimes, people can't handle that pressure.
Yeah.
But again, I always say, be good to yourself. Take it, take steps. You don't have to overwhelm yourself just because people love your food. Oh, I need to open a restaurant. Who said that?
Right.
We didn't say
You're
that.
right. You're
So
right.
commit to, the things that you are able to achieve. I tell people all the time, a win is a win.
It
Like
is.
take those small, like when you achieve something and succeed at it, that's a win. You
Yeah.
won. Like take small steps and enjoy the achievements along the way. You don't have to have a whole bucket of achievements. Take one at a time. And then you build what? Confidence. And
Yes.
baby, that's something that, once you have confidence, it's like, wow, it's a newfound passion. So it
Absolutely.
all ties into each other.
And then you have the momentum to
Yes,
drive you, right?
yes.
So I love that point. You don't have to feel like because you have this passion, this purpose, that you have to go and run and take everything to, the 100, power, right? We
Exactly.
don't have to take everything to the max. What are those small steps that we can do? And I love that. People used to tell me all the time, they say, in fact, I was teaching a class and they said, one of the people said, you know what, Shaniqua, she was like, you could either be a comedian. That was the first thing. She was like, you could be a comedian. She was like, you could be a pastor or you could be a motivational speaker. So she gave me three things based
They're
off of
all
how
one.
I taught the class, that was what she could see me as.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Not to say that I'm going to follow behind Steve Harvey and Kevin Hart and them, that I'm going to be out here trying to be a comedian or anything, but I could still use that because someone saw that in me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
I
maybe
think that's
you
so.
can't see what's inside of you. Maybe you can't see what your purpose is. You can't identify what your passion is. Maybe you can take the word of someone else.
That's very good. Very good. A very viable source, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah,
Don't be listening to anybody.
I think you hit on something as well. Because sometimes I do it like this. Oftentimes, people not telling you anything new about yourself that you don't already know,
Mhm.
right? Now, did you subdue it
Yeah,
to lift someone else up and
yeah,
put your, oh yeah, I am good at that. Oh, I hadn't thought about it because I always think about others or
yeah.
doing, X, Y, Z. But you're right. Sometimes people remind us of
Hmm.
who we are. So we need it, right? Oh,
Absolutely.
you can be this or a comedian, a pastor, or a coach. Well, technically, they're all one.
True indeed.
They're all
If you
one
look
because
at true indeed.
you use them all. So, people, that's why spending time, and again, I talk about this in my book, Pursuit of Purpose. You got to spend some time with yourself
Yeah.
and just reflect and think about what is it that I like? Because when you spend time with yourself, it begins to reveal certain things that, to my point, my earlier point, that maybe you have forgotten about. Oh, yeah, I do like
Yeah.
running. I do like serving in
Mm.
XYZ capacity, right? So then when someone says it to you, you're like, thank you for that confirmation,
Yes,
you know?
absolutely. All right, so let's get into it. So I think we pretty much understand what purpose is now, and we've also talked about, how we can kind of reflect back, how we can kind of get a good, like, honing into exactly what our purpose is. What kind of practical steps could you give someone when they have identified and now they're ready to take action? What kind
Mhm.
of advice, what kind of encouragement would you offer them?
And I'll start where I finish. I said a win is a win,
I love
right?
Look, that was a good one too. That is good.
so so in that time with yourself, and I'll go back to that. You definitely want to spend some time learning or reevaluating. That's the word I want to use.
Mhm.
Reevaluating you,
Okay.
so that when the time comes, no, going back to what we were just saying, no one has to come and say this is who you are, because at your core you know who you are, right? So writing those measurable goals. We use that in corporate a lot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that they call it SMART. But again, set
Yeah.
yourself up for success. Set yourself up for a win. So practical steps for me is write the things that you can achieve,
Mhm.
right? Small things, relative. I want to not go. Don't want to spend any money at Starbucks this week or whatever.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
no problem. Go out to the grocery store and buy you the coffee, buy your coffee pot, or decide that you won't drink coffee. Instead of coffee, I'll do tea. So
Yeah.
again, very practical, very simple. Simple things such as, how can you win?
Yes.
Well, I won't go shopping this week. And
Mm,
guess what? Don't go shopping this
that's right.
week. You know
Stay
what I mean?
at Target. That's right.
You know, Amazon, my favorite website.
Yes, yes,
You know,
yes. No late night shopping on Amazon. Put the phone down. There you go.
I would only spend so many hours on the computer, in a day. I would spend more time searching within myself, writing my goals, or exercise, whatever it is. We're heading into 2024. So, now is probably the time people are going to start making those New Year resolutions
Yes,
and things like that.
absolutely.
But put that, jot down things that you can achieve, because once you achieve something, what does it do? It gives you confidence,
Yeah.
right? It gives you, you're like, dang, I did that. Yeah. Small steps, small things that you can achieve, i.e., that you can win from.
Listen to Cicely Sunday's podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and more. New episodes start in December.
For a win. A win is a win.
I love it. To set yourself up for the win. That's
Yeah.
the point. So what is it that you need? What are the resources? Who are the people? What is going to set you up for the win? So
Yeah.
that is definitely key as we are getting ready into a new year, as you mentioned. But we can certainly finish this year strong, and we
Absolutely.
can still have wins. We
Mhm.
don't have to wait until New Year's to start now recalibrating and collecting all of our wins. We can win on the way over to the win, right?
I like it.
We can do that. Now, we were talking a little earlier, Dr. Sheree, and I wanted to bring it back up because I think it is important to this conversation on purpose. So we have someone, they've identified what their purpose is, they're ready, they're writing it down. They've got their action plan that's going to help them to secure the win every step of the way. Let's talk about the importance of consistency.
Mm.
We gotta
Yes, we definitely did expound on it. So consistency, as I mentioned before we joined the call and the conversation, is highly important. And to be very honest and transparent, it is one that I personally have to remind myself. So this is what I tell people: by no means am I giving you advice that I don't give myself. I have self-talks to say, hey, Sheree, come on, let's get it together. Let's get that, regain that momentum, right? If we start exercising, we want, we going all in, we lose that little weight and we're looking good. And all of a sudden a week go by. You have to remind yourself, hey, you did this because of. So consistency is very important, and it's a constant reminder. It's a constant. It's not something that, maybe somebody has it together. I don't know. I'll be honest. I struggle with that. But I do know that in order to achieve the goals that you set for yourself, in order to walk in your purpose and passion, you definitely have to remain consistent. So it is a constant step, a constant reminder that we all need to impart in our lives, including myself. And just again, be good to yourself and have grace. Give yourself grace, so that when you do fall back, just remind yourself, come on, you can do it. Affirm yourself. Let's go forward. Let's restart. So we're human, so we're gonna succeed, we're gonna fail, we're gonna fall, we're gonna get up. And that's just a cycle of life. So that's why I often say be good to yourself, give yourself grace, but you have to remain consistent if you want to win. And just do your part and however that looks for you. But consistency, it is key. But again, I'm no perfect person. That's why I say I'm the transformation coach, not by
Not
because I thought about
as far as you go, right?
yeah, I have to do this as I move along, remind myself too.
Yeah, I love it. And consistency is key. And you are not alone, sis. I'm telling you, you are not alone. And what we were laughing and talking about is, I too, when I get an idea, oh baby, I can run with it. Like I could, take off out the gate. But if it's a marathon, right? Because that's oftentimes what we do. If we were running a sprint, right? If it was something really, really quick, oh baby, we can get from point A to Z and quick fast.
Yes.
But when it's going to be a journey, sometimes and this is what I say about myself, I'm like, girl, you started running too fast. Like you got to pace yourself, honey.
Yeah.
And I think I just come out the gate, I'm running.
Yes.
And then by the time I'm midway, I feel as though I've burnt myself out.
Yes. Yes.
So it is a normal feeling that we all go through, but we do need to learn how to pace ourselves. And especially you gave us that tip on setting yourself up for the win. You know how you are. You know how you take off running all fast and you doing it in the beginning, and then you know how you fizzle out. So while you're building up your plan to support your win, why don't you incorporate that?
That's right. That's heavy. I say that's heavy, meaning that's really, really good, but that is so true. And that's to your point. That's why many businesses and many people thought, we're in the vein as well of mental health. So that's also another point, that we have to just be kind to ourselves so that, you don't fall victim, you don't burn out, because it's easy to take off. Oh yeah, I got this great idea, and you want to do well, and the first no you get is like, oh man, I knew I shouldn't have did it. I was never good at it. We go back to that list of negatives, but we have to say, you know what, that one no, again, affirming as we go. It's kind of like the elliptical, you or that little bike that we're on. We got to keep going, or those steps that we're climbing. Each step may have a little resistance or a little fatigue, but we keep going because we know we're trying to get somewhere. So yeah, you have to set yourself up for that win. I'm gonna keep going there. You have to set yourself up.
I love it. But you know what? You said something really, really key. That word no. Those two letters. We put so much weight behind those two letters that we would really allow it to make us sit down on the thing that we said we were passionate about, on the thing that we said was our purpose. We hear that one no, and we're ready to turn around. We're ready to pack it back up. We're ready to put it all aside, and we're willing to go back to doing the same thing that we had been doing. I remember being in a personal development workshop, and the coach that was leading it, it was a lot of people. So it was a full auditorium full of people. There had to have been at least 500-600 people, if not more people. It was a jam-packed room. And what they did was they had us go in the back of the room where there were no chairs. So we had all of this space. So just kind of think of it like you're in this convention center and it's just a bunch of people standing around. And she wanted us to go around and pitch like something really, really short. Like, hey, I got this great idea. I want to make muffin tops, whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
And the practice was that people would go around and tell you no.
Rejection. That's what that is.
So people were really just going to shoot down your idea. You sitting there all energetic. Yes. And I'm going to do this. And they're going to taste like this. I got all the different flavors set up. And no. And then once you got your no, you had to go on to the next one. And you were going to get a no. You were going to get a no. And when you got that no, you were going to go And you're going to do it all over again. And guess what? You're going to know again.
Wow.
And the purpose behind that was to take the sting. You just take the sting from that little 2-letter, just as short as it wants to be. So we need to get ourselves, as we are strategizing, as we are preparing for the win, incorporate what to do if you get a no.
That's good. That's good. Because we view it as we have been conditioned that no means no is the negative, right?
No
means you're not good enough. That's it. That's what we've been conditioned. That's what society has told us. But again, it goes back to, and I think too, it also speaks to the point of having those or having people around you that can help affirm you, that can help support you, that can help pick you up, right? When you fall down or when you fall back. Because truth of the matter is, it is you said a sting.
Shot.
Absolutely. It's a shot. Yeah. Okay.
And it burns afterwards. It burns. It hurts for days later, sometimes even months, years later.
Yes, you're human. So we're going to get yeses and we're going to get no's. But how, just like, the saying goes, what don't kill us, make us stronger. So, what is it that you could do different? You know what I mean? Because yes, my expectation in anything is that I'm going to do well at it. But what, to your point, what if I get that no? Okay, I've gotten several no's this month, last month, probably later on today. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, how can I leverage that? How can I use that to refine who I am and what my purpose is? Okay, because guess what? Everything isn't perfect. Right? We aren't perfect. We're created in God's image, but we're not perfect. So that being said, there are areas that still need to be refined. Even, isn't that how a diamond comes out? Right? It has to be put in the fire so that it's refined. So I think that to your point, that's very important. We should hear no. Matter of fact, as parents, they say we should tell our kids no. So
listen, maybe we didn't tell them no enough.
People didn't hear it enough. But you equate no to rejection, whereas it should not. And I'm all about changing the narrative for many and all things now. Going back to my transformational concept, right? Let's transform our mind. Let's look at this differently. Because yes, it is a no, but what does that no mean? No, go back and do better, or no, this isn't for you, or no, not right now.
Yeah, exactly. Because a no really could mean, we always say no is a complete sentence when we're trying to create those boundaries. But when we hear that word no, we have to put a comma. Right? If someone's telling you no, you need to, in your mind, put a comma and then put why it's a no. Is it, like you said, is it because you need to grow more? Or maybe it's just not right for them.
Right.
And then once we spell that out, then we can put the period at the end of the sentence. But for us, we want to know why. We want the feedback so that way we can grow from it.
Absolutely.
If those are not your people, if that's not, then stop beating your head up against the wall. And I tell a lot of that because I mentor a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs, a lot of new entrepreneurs, and they're on social media and they're talking and nobody's hitting like and nobody's buying their products and they're getting their feelings hurt and then they're tucking and they want to go and say, this is not for me. And I'm like, it's because you're not speaking to the right people.
That's right.
Guarantee you get yourself and your purpose and your passion and your drive into the right room. You're gonna be like the next best thing to sliced bread. You're gonna be the new sliced bread because everybody is gonna want to hear what it is that you have to say. But we have to get into the habit. Just because we see our purpose, just because we're passionate about it, doesn't mean that everybody in the world is gonna think it's golden.
Absolutely. That's it.
When you get around the right people.
That's right.
It's
And
on
again,
the
that goes back to meditating and praying and asking God to, open your eyes and
yeah.
connect you to those, to the circles, to the people that will, essentially enhance the gifts that are in you, like putting you in the right place at the right time with the right people. And for those that don't mean you well or don't have good intentions, then, just again, reshift your posture, reshift your focus.
Yes, I
Yeah.
love it. Let's talk about this book again, Dr. Sheree, before I let you go. We got that title there, honey. We got the
I
Pursuit
love
of
it.
Purpose, the 11
Mm.
keys to rise like a phoenix
Yes,
and
yes,
soar.
indeed.
Why do we need this book as it pertains to us living our lives on purpose? What is this book going to help us to do?
It's so practical. It's so practical. You asked that earlier, and I think this is key. As you can see, the logo in the back.
Yes,
But
yes.
it's key because I believe in not overcomplicating life. Life is hard by itself. So therefore, if I have a tip, a tool, a key to help you unlock that magnificent and glorious person inside of you, I'm going to give it to you. So again, these are practical steps, the implementation of self-reflection, self essentially going back to you and searching within and identifying the likes within and leveraging those likes and turning those likes into goals or passion or purpose, and using all those steps that it's really it's already in us. I'll be honest, and that's kind of how I start my book off by saying we were uniquely and designed, created by the Most High. So what's in you is in you. You just got to activate it and have a willingness to activate that. I use the phoenix as a symbol of myself because the world would cast you out. The world would kill you. I'm going to use the metaphor that I want. It would kill you, going back to what we were saying, kill your spirit, kill that king or queen that's inside of us. Nevertheless, don't allow the world, society, people to, bury you. Rise, soar, go after those things that, you have a desire for. And you only know what your desires are by spending time with yourself and tapping in to those unique talents. Some people call them traits. Some people call them gifts, but it's in all of us.
I love it. Listen, you all make certain that you check out the description box. We got the link to the book. You can grab your copy of Dr. Sheree's book so that you can stay enlightened and empowered on your journey as you are pursuing through life on purpose, right? That you're not forgetting about those giftings that you have. And for those of you who are on my mailing list, don't even worry about looking in the description box. It's in your email. Just go click. That's all you got to do. Just go to the email and click. It's right there for you. Dr. Sheree, before I let you go, I need you to speak directly to that person who feels like it's too late, that time has ran out on them, and that it's too late for them. What would you say to them?
Look at me. I'm
Hmm.
not what they said I was. I am the phoenix that rose from the ashes. So if you are allowed to hold your hand in front of you and there's breath in your body, it's never too late. Go after everything that the locust has stolen from you. Go after everything that you thought you wanted in this life. And guess what? I often tell people to dream and then dream higher because you can do it. It's in us. Great is he that is in us than he that is of this world. So I solely, wholeheartedly, flat-footed believe that if you have life and breath in your body, it's never too late. You can achieve any dream that you have set forth. Go out, soar, and do it.
I love that. And it was so encouraging because oftentimes we do feel like we've missed the mark. We feel like it's too late. But as Dr. Sheree has started telling us in the beginning, sometimes you have to redefine. So maybe you're aged and you don't want to start a business at this stage in your life, but maybe you can counsel, maybe you can coach, maybe you can tutor, like maybe you can mentor and teach someone else the things that like, so there's still, maybe you can offer words of encouragement.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
To encourage someone to not wait and to do it while they have an opportunity. Like, you still can use your voice, you can still use your life to live it on purpose, all the way to the very, very end. So
you better. I tell people you better, because guess what? When it's all said and done, that's it.
absolutely.
Right? It's no more. So live now while you can. Impact now while you can. Change someone's life for the better while you can. Maybe you didn't get it right on the first couple of tries, but guess what? If you tell me what errors you made, then maybe I don't have to make those. And it causes, it's a cycle, right? And more good is put into the universe by the correct. I felt that thing, by the correction of others, right? Yeah. So I get out now.
Yes, you better. Like, the Holy Spirit starts tapping you on the shoulder.
I felt it. Yeah. Your errors can be a correction for somebody else, right? So that's why we're here, to teach, to learn, to teach. But our lives can be an example, not just for those close to us, but for those that we touch via the internet. So yeah, we can change the dynamic. We can change the trajectory of what society said we're supposed to be. I should have been, oh my, read the book. It's another one coming.
I love it. I love it. Dr. Sheree, thank you so very much for taking time out of your day to come and encourage us. Hang out for just a second. Let me give the people their marching orders. Listen, everybody, that was super, super good. And it lit a fire up underneath me. So I hope that it was the fire that you needed to get you moving and living your life in full pursuit of your purpose. So until next week, you all be blessed, and I'll see you again on the next episode of the Black Girl Encourage Her. God bless.